let's start with our new speaker, that is Cristian Bolivar. I want to share only a few things about Cristian. Christian is from Colombia, who has a very unique style. He has 7 years of experience and has worked with different projects such as Love, Death, and Robots. That I know that many people here love that show, like me. Um, he also has worked in Thunder God's Tale with Tonko House, and currently he works as a texturing artist in ILM, Industrial Light and Magic, in Australia. So I know that it's very late there. What time is it right now?
Hello. Actually, it's the morning. It's 9 a.m. in the morning.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Good
So,
morning.
So
good
this
morning.
morning, just about to having my breaky. So yeah, thanks for having me.
No worries. So, when you are ready to start your presentation,
Sure thing. So let me introduce myself.
of course.
Perfect.
Mm, So I'm ready now. I'm sharing my screen now. Gotcha.
Yeah, we can see.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, got it. So I'm Christian from Bogota. You can call me Chris. I have a background in filmmaking and photography. Since very young, I always love like creative stuff, mm, like music, video games, and cartoon shows, all this kind of stuff. And, and also, I've been always been a little bit nerd about technology stuff. So I found in CGI the sweet spot for doing these two things together. So I slowly moved into post production. I started as comper, then I moved to lighter, and nowadays as surfacing artist. So let me introduce my journey from advertising to work on blockbusters. So the path, as Mortal, I've been working on for 7 years in the industry in advertising, film, and illustration in positions as texture artist, look dev, grooming, and lighting. This is a few of the studios I've been working on as freelance, as full time, from different countries, mainly Latin America and here in Australia. Maybe some of those will be recognizable, and others not at all, but maybe the most famous is ILM and Tonko House. And maybe the paths from Latin America will know 3DR. So yeah, this has been such a great experience working for these many people because I have gathering so many friends in the past, such nice people that has really helped me to grow up as an artist. So my first job was in advertising back in Colombia. I did a very long career in advertising from junior to lead. That was an interesting stage of my life because most of the people when get into 3D stars as generalists, making everything, like from animation, modeling, writing, whatever. So here is where I start to find my way into things. And I realized that I was good making things look good. So I moved around look dev, lighting, grooming. So I worked for lots of projects, 5 years working there, for lots of brands from Latin America, Europe, and USA a little bit. Maybe some Latin America peps will recognize a few of these characters. Uh, One of the nice things about advertising is how diverse the projects are and how quickly they are. Because you have, for example, in a month, you can have like 3 to 4 projects easily, easily, and very different each to other, like a product job, like a character, like a fluids, whatever. And that really helped me to develop my skills in different directions and have different perspectives from the same thing. The bad thing is that most of us should know that advertising can get very overwhelming due to the the naturally of the industry and the Apple clients. So I got burned out in 2020. A year where it wasn't good for most of us. So I got burned out. That's the same year I became the lead, having lots of responsibilities that I didn't expect. And yeah, I just got burned out and I applied to every single studio in the world to have a new job. And because I want to make different deals, because one of the deal breakers of being in a leadership position is that you don't you have to leave behind a little bit your artist position. So I want because and at that time I still having I have so much to learn. And okay, I don't want to be leading. I want to be still learning. So I moved away from advertising at that time. After 5 years, that was quite a hard decision for me. After advertising, what it came for me, lots of things that were very unexpected, and I want to really highlight two projects that were very important for me. First of all, I broke my bubble. I was so afraid of getting a new job. I mean, at the same time that I wanted to go out on advertising, for me was so afraid to try new things. And I got incredible opportunities from the more unexpected uh, ways. And there are two projects that I really love. The first one, and most of you should recognize, is Hero, the episode for Love, Death, and Robots Season 3. I had the huge chance to work in this project beside a crazy people, super talented, they always incredible Alberto Mielgo. And I learned a lot of stuff. I was doing mainly grooming and look depth in this project, mainly for the main characters and some characters in the background. It was a very good project, and another good project was the Tonko House project. Only got Thunder Tales was a super nice project, also with lots of nice people working inside. Also, projects as freelance artists was a great time to me because being a freelance for a little time gives me the flexibility to find myself again. But that was a deal breaker for me. I'm a teammate, dude. I love to be part of a team and and contribute to a team and feel like I'm part of something. So after that, it became the next step in my life. Is when I joined Industrial Light and Magic. This was like my dream job always because I mean I always have loved Star Wars and Jurassic Park and Transformers and Marvel. We all love that. Most of us in the industry at least. And it was super excited. I moved continents. I moved from Colombia to Australia in middle of high restrictions due to to the pandemic and COVID. In a leap of faith to me because this is my very first big studio, and it's been an incredible experience for me. How much I have learned. It's my longest time being in a single position because back in the day, I always was jumping between positions, between lighting, look depth, grooming, all that. Here I've been settled only as texture artist, sound look depth, and I've learned it a lot. I've been working beside people that have incredible experience. People have been working in the industry for years, even before I even know what a polygon was. And this incredible, I've been working in incredible projects, doing incredibly complex stuff, super complex stuff that I feel very happy to be there. I always feel very supported and surrounded by these talented people. And yeah, I've been working on a couple of Star Wars, Marvel, and DC projects. And recently in Rings of Power that is being screening already on Amazon Prime, so you can take a look if you want. This looks very neat, in my opinion. So yeah, that's been my journey to this. It's been long. I mean, I have to make it shorter, but it's been a long path from working, making product shots to make chips for Star Wars. It's a very incredible process to me. Now I'm doing this presentation. I just seeing what I've done is incredible, and I feel thankful for all without the people that have been supporting me through this path. So now let's talk a little bit about myself or what I do, and probably what most of people know me for is my personal stuff. I think it's important for all as an artist to still doing personal projects. At least it is for me because I still having fun in what I do and keeps me inspired and has lots of benefits, because you don't have deadlines, you don't have clients, you don't have rules at all. You can learn new things, try new things, and normally in your job site you can do it never because it's not allowed or you don't have the possibilities. Explore things and discover yourself as an artist. This is the way I like to do this 3D illustration with a very, how to say, like photography intention, because it's what that's my background. I am a photographer and filmmaker, and I want to transmit that into what I do. And this is the way I still know it myself. And when I do this, I also it has helped to keep my actual job better because one thing fits the other. It doesn't make sense. I'm not sure about. And it's been, I mean, this, I always doing personal projects. I'm trying to do different things. I do 3D adaptations of things that you never could imagine as 3D adaptations. For example, this little guy from the video game Grease is maybe not super famous, but giving some shout out to them. I also love animals, so you will see animals in lots of in my in my personal projects. And also personal projects help me a lot to get new jobs. The main reason why I got the job in Finland to join Love, Death and Robots was because of these folks, because it was entirely done in Houdini, and they were looking for a Houdini artist to join the production, and also was because of the folks that I joined the Tonko House project. And this plus my experience I already have, and was the perfect match for this project. So I really encourage yourself to keep doing personal projects and trying to find your way, because in my personal experience, it really helped me to keep growing as an artist and still, still exploring myself, my individuality. Because one of the things that, you know, there is a thing that you always have to keep in mind is that if you are working in VFX or animation industry, and that it's a team effort, and that you always be a team. That you just will be always being a part of a big team. They're a very big team, and sometimes you forget about it, or you are too consumed about it, and making this personal stuff is like remember yourself that you can do, you have your own vision, of making things, and really push you a little bit. And that also helps to keep you inspired and don't get bored about your profession, because it's normal to get being jaded or tired of doing this for so many years. So what's next? Oh, thank you. What's sure? What's next? Yeah. So thank you so much. It was shorter than expected, or maybe I just rushing myself.
That was
No words
great.
at all. Actually, you can share anything else if you want. And speaking about burning out, I have a question for everyone. Obviously,
Yes.
how to deal with frustration in such a creative and demanding job like this? Because it's complicated, actually.
Yes.
How to deal with the frustration?
Uh, for me, was I really get to a late conclusion when I was working on advertising, and that's what I was doing wasn't for me.
Okay.
So, so yes, and just was for a client, and he was what he want. I know sometimes you want to do it the project in a different way. Even in the VFX and animation projects work is the same. You want to do things different, but you have to keep in mind that at the end of the day is not for you, and so you have just try to do your best in between the requirements. And yeah, maybe that's why I think it's important to keep doing personal stuff. For this, where do you find a spot to be yourself when you are working in a company?
Oh, that's so nice, Christian. And yeah, and I agree with you. I think we as a creatives, we have deal with the burnout at least one time in our lives. So I think to breathe and to do something else, not only be working and trying to reach that like perfection like we all the time want to do. I would say this is a great advice that you are saying. Thank you for so much for sharing this. And also, I think I have a question
Shoot me.
uh, about your presentation because I love your projects. It's a very unique the style that you have. It's like I can recognize who did who did like one of these amazing, like for example, cute animals like that bee. That was my favorite. Uh, what is the project that you have done that you like the most? Because I know that you enjoy every detail, like to put like this pollen in the face, and but I would
Mm.
like to know which one is your favorite that you have done.
Oh, that's a very hard question. Maybe the hummingbird is a very special one for me because it really, makes a difference in my life. Because before that, I mean, I was like just a dot making 3D, and when I did the hummingbird, people just noticed who I was. Actually, I have a nice memory from Bogota with Ricardo, and he greeted me by the hummingbird in a Cows Rib event there in Bogota when I was living. It was what, years ago, like
Yes.
5 years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
around that.
yeah, and also the hummingbird I was featuring in a few 3D art magazines. Yeah, it's a nice project with a sentimental value for me.
That's so nice. Yeah, I love your
Amazing.
work. It was so, when I see the first time your jobs, it was like, oh, I have to follow this guy
Oh, thank you.
They are
on
so cute.
Instagram.
I love it. So I have a question too.
Sure.
Not a question. I would like to tell us if you have some advice for beginners who want to enter in on this industry.
Well, I mean, maybe my advice is to try to understand that you never stop learning, that be open to tools, and the tools doesn't make you better or worse artist. That is just tools that could change through the time, and try to focus and keep your fundamentals alive, to have like a nice eye and have this criteria to know what's wrong, what's good. And that's not coming from learning lots of tools, it's learning actual fundamentals. So I really recommend to people starting into 3D art to really keep an eye in his fundamentals. That's what makes the difference, because you can learn lots of tools and techniques, but if you don't have like fundamentals in the right position, your stuff will never look as it should be.
That's so
Perfect.
great. We have some
Understand.
questions from the public, and one is in Spanish. Maybe you can answer that one in Spanish. The question is, si se pudiera hacer una pregunta, ¿cómo lidiar con la frustración en un lugar, en un trabajo tan creativo y demandante?
I have.
Eh,
Pero es la que hizo Rich, creo, hace un rato, ¿no?
it was the same
Okay.
one. No,
Yeah,
that
Es un
one is
van,
yeah.
burn
pero
out. But that one is different because that one is burn out. But that one is
Okay.
more about how because you work in ILM. And in ILM, sometimes we know that you have productions, big production that can be frustrating and very demanding. How you deal with it, like when you receive one show and then how you are like, oh, okay, what you do? It's like, oh,
Oh, well, Spanish or English?
en español, si quieres. Esa pregunta fue en español.
Seguro, vale. Recuerdo que mis primeros meses en ILM fueron bastante overwhelming por la cantidad de información, por muchas cosas que yo no sabía. Yo no sabía Katana, yo a duras penas sabía Mari, y, y entré a trabajar en Rings of Power, lo cual me tomó por sorpresa, hacer cosas que yo nunca había hecho, y estaba un poco frustrado y a la vez asustado, y es normal. Y yo creo que lo mejor que se puede hacer cuando haya frustración es apoyarse en tus compañeros de trabajo. Como te digo, esto no lo hace solo, esto lo hace un equipo. Y siempre va a haber alguien con más experiencia y demás que te va a dar la mano. Y es importante saber levantar la mano y decir, hey, necesito ayuda, me está pasando esto, porque seguramente habrá quien te dé la mano. Y es importante reconocer esos momentos cuando ya no, de verdad, no te sientes capaz y pedir la mano. Además que esos momentos cuando alguien capacitado, alguien que de verdad sabe cómo es, te va a guiar y te va a decir cómo son las cosas, y ahí es cuando aprendes. Así que yo creo que lo primero sería eso. Y también pensar que eres parte de un equipo, siempre eso es como es muy importante para mí, es como respecto a Mora, Mora es freelance, yo soy un dude de una compañía grande, porque me gusta sentirme parte de un equipo grande. Y pues yo soy consciente que entre más, o sea, siendo parte de un equipo hago cosas como, no sé cómo decirlo, más grandes, y eso me emociona muchísimo. Así que mi
That's
consejo es
so
ese.
nice. Oh,
Great.
that's great. That was amazing. We have more questions for you, Christian.
Yeah.
These are in English, by the way.
Sure thing.
Um,
Christian,
well,
have you fixed time a week for
um,
improve and personal work, or only when you have time? Actually, I can see your guitar.
My guitar.
yes.
Yes.
My trouble. Yeah,
In the background.
Yeah.
yeah, actually, for my personal job, it depends. I back in the day, I used to have the scene of rushing myself with personal stuff, and that was quite a bad practice because one of the nice things about personal stuff is that you can manage your own way, go slow and really enjoy the process. And you have the right to fail. You can do it wrong and say, okay, I will try again. So, I mean, unless you really need to make new portfolio pieces, I don't recommend you to have deadlines for your personal stuff because it's not the idea. I recommend, yeah. So I try to, once of the week, maybe on weekends. It depends on what I'm doing, what plans do I have to give a chance to my personal stuff. Sometimes I do stuff that I never published that is just things that I want to try. Maybe I want to try shaders this way. I want to do a lighting template this way. I want to try this thing in Houdini. And sometimes it's not about what I'm doing, it's what I learned. So I really don't have a deadline for my personal stuff.
And what about the guitar?
A guitar is a huge part of my life. I mean, I really recommend everyone to have a hobby, whatever it could be, and live a life, because we all love to spend time on the computer making stuff. But I also recommend you to go out and have a life because we are we creators of life. How can we recreate life if we don't have a life?
Ooh, that's so
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Yes, that's very great
Nice.
advice. Sometimes we are like, oh, I have a
Forget.
deadline. I have to finish, and I forget about my life. That's a good
Yes.
advice, by the way. Thank you, Christian. I
No
don't
good.
know
Thank you. So,
who else.
Rick,
Actually, could you be so kind as to share again your slide of your personal projects? Because we want to do something.
Again,
Could you, yes, could you share your screen again?
shooting,
Because actually,
just the slide where my personal projects are, right?
yes, the slide, that's this one,
This one.
that one. And
that
great. So, because I want to, or we want to do this.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate
Great
it.
job. Great job.
Yeah, this is great.
Congratulations,
Thank
Chris.
you so much.
Are
Really
amazing.
appreciate it.